Okay, let me share the slides here. Okay, so this is what we talked about in the end. Okay, and we talked about the ranges for peak hour factor as well. That if you have a constant flow in all the 15 minutes, you can have a peak hour factor of 1. If you have the complete volume in just one 15 minutes interval, the other 45 minutes are empty, then the peak hour factor will be 0.25. And these are the probable values for urban areas, urban and rural areas. Sorry. So we are going to continue with speed and travel time. So remember, volume was one of the macroscopic parameters. So obviously volume is defined for the whole traffic stream, right? You count all the vehicles and then you give me one value, right? 1000 vehicles, 2000 vehicles per hour. So the whole hour is just one value. So again, we are continuing with the macroscopic parameter. The other macroscopic parameter is speed, and speed is related to travel time. Okay, like I explained yesterday that if you want to calculate the speed, one of the ways to do is you mark a distance and then you find out the travel time for the vehicle to cover that distance, and that can give you the speed. Okay, so speed is simply distance per unit time. So if the distance is fixed, then the travel time is inversely proportional to speed. So and since we are talking about speed as macroscopic parameter, so we are talking about average speed. Average speed. Similar to volume, like we discussed different ways in which you can calculate average for daily volumes. There are different ways in which you can calculate averages for speeds as well. So there are two ways to calculate average speeds of flow. We call them time mean speed and space mean speed. Okay, you can see the definitions here. They are very similar to each other. The time mean speed is mean of speeds for vehicles passing over a point or lane of the highway over a specified time period. Okay, and space mean speed, mean of speed of vehicles occupying a given section or lane. You see the difference. This is passing over a point or lane, and this is occupying a given section or lane of the highway over a specified time period. Okay, so this is the main difference here. Okay, this is for vehicles passing, and this is for vehicles which are occupying a given section. Now what is the difference between them? When you say passing, okay, so it means this is the speed at a particular point. Passing means passing over a point or lane. That means this is a vehicle at a particular point. Okay, and space means speed. You are occupying a section. That means we want to know the speed of the vehicle throughout this section, not over a point, throughout this section. Okay, so what was the mean or average speed of the vehicle between point A and point B? Okay, so there are like 2 points here. For space mean speeds, there are like 2 points here. So if you apply the methodology of fixing the distance and looking at the travel time to find out the speed, then it would be most probably, now again I'm saying most probably, it will be space mean speed. Okay, in the next chapters we will discuss more differences between space mean speed and time mean speed, but for the time being, just keep it in mind that for space mean speed, you would most probably apply the methodology of finding out the travel time over a given distance. Okay, and usually that distance is, you can see here, is a complete section of the highway. Okay, either from any lane or either from one of the lanes. In your term project, when I ask you to calculate the speed, you can calculate the speed from any lane of the highway. Okay, I have not fixed the lane, but you can fix the lane as well. But in any case, for space mean speed is for the entire section of the highway. Okay, or maybe more than that. Okay, so section of the highway is, for example, from one intersection to the other intersection, or the whole length of the highway. So that will be space mean speed. But for time and speed, it can be from any point. Okay, so you can use the speed gun app or the real speed gun, you know, which they use in sports as well, and the traffic police has it. The traffic cameras, you know, they use sort of a speed gun. So the speeds which are collected through the speed cameras are basically time mini speeds. Okay, because they are collected over a point for vehicles passing over a point. That's why we have the flexibility, you know, you can reduce your speed just few meters before the camera and you are safe. Otherwise, if it was recording a space mean speed, you have to reduce the speed even before you enter the section. Okay, so it's a good thing, alhamdulillah. So so time in speed is related to a specific time period, and it does not belong to the length of the section, but space mean speed belongs to the section. Okay, so this is the speed of the vehicle in the entire section, but the time in speed can be over any point of the highway or a very short distance even, because a very short distance is still considered as a point. Okay, so these are the two equations for calculating time in speed and space mean speed. Okay, now if you go to the book, you will see a very I would say a very confusing sort of explanation for speed and space mean speed, but this is what it is. Okay, I have tried to make it simpler. Okay, so I hope you understand it, and we will keep on discussing it later on as well, and even in the other chapters. So I hope at the end you will have a clear idea about what is time and speed and space mean. Okay, so time and speed, you see, is summation of d upon t upon n. Now what is d? Distance. What is t? Time. Okay, so d upon t is speed. So summation of d upon t means summation of speeds upon number of cars for which you have taken the speed. So if you have taken the speed for 10 cars, n will be 10. Okay, and the d and t can change for every vehicle. You can see here the ratio. You can have a new d and new t for every car. Okay, but the d in this case is very small because again, going back to the definition, this is the speed of the vehicle passing over a point. So d is very small. But for space mean speed, you can see here there's a different sort of average here. So d is longer first of all, and it is fixed. Okay, so for all the cars, we are taking the same d, and it is longer. Okay, usually the length of the entire section of the highway. Okay, or maybe the entire highway as well. So d is fixed and d is longer, and then you just take the average, or you divide d with the average of the times of the vehicle. So you have taken travel time for 10 vehicles. Okay, so you do the summation of these travel time upon n, and will be 10. So it will be d upon average travel time. For SMS, it will be distance upon average travel time. But for time in speed, it is simply summation of speeds upon number of hours. Okay, so here, as I said, d is shorter and it can change for every vehicle. Okay, and even you don't, if you are using a speed gun or a speed camera, you don't have to use this ratio. You can directly insert the value of d insert the value of speed here. So d by t, they are saying that put the value of speed here. Okay, so if you have taken speed directly using some device or some camera, then just put the value of speed here. So TMS is a simple average of speeds, but for SMS, you have a distance, which is the length of the section, and then you take the average of travel time, and then you divide d with the average of travel time. Okay, that will give you the SMS. Okay, so just keep in mind, SMS means space mean speed, and TMS means time mean speed. Okay, let us look at an example to make things more clear. Okay, so we have taken speeds for 6 vehicles, number of vehicles you can see, first column, 6 vehicles. For every vehicle, the distance was d, and it was 1000 feet. For all the vehicles, the distance was 1000 feet. Now each vehicle took a different time in crossing this distance. So for vehicle number 1 it was 18 seconds, for 2 it was 20 seconds, 22 seconds, and so on. Okay. If you take the summation of travel time for all the 6 vehicles, it is 119. If you take the average of travel time, it is 19.8 seconds. Okay. Then if you calculate the speed of each vehicle, it will be distance upon time, right? So distance is 1000, time is 18. So 1000 upon 18, 55.6 feet per second for the first vehicle. Then 1000 upon 20, so 50 feet per second for the second vehicle, and so on. Okay. So now I have the speed of each vehicle and I have the travel time of each vehicle. So I can use both the equations. So if I'm using the equation for TMS, I will use the individual speeds here in the numerator, and the denominator n will be 6. If I'm using SMS equation here, so D is 1000, which is fixed, and I will use the average of travel time in the denominator. Okay, so I have the travel time of each vehicle, and I will do the summation upon n. It will give me the average travel time, which I have already calculated. So the average travel time is 19.6 seconds. So if you want to calculate TMS, you take the summation of these individual speeds, divide by 6. So you see 50.6 feet per second. Okay. And if you take the average of travel time, then 1000 divided by average of travel time gives you 50.4, which is SMS, 50.4 feet per second. Okay. So you can see both speeds are very close to each other, obviously, because we are using the same vehicles. Okay, these are the same vehicles in the same segment. Okay, so you can see even with the same data, you can still calculate the speeds differently. So the data was the same, but for TMS, I applied this method where I calculated the speed of each vehicle and then I took the average. And for SMS, I took the average of travel time and then distance divided by average of travel time and gave me this value. Okay, normally we don't do it like this. This is an example just to show you the difference of calculations. Okay, normally we don't do it like this. Like I said, SMS is taken for the entire section and TMS is normally for a short distance or maybe even a point if you are using a device. Okay, so this is just to clarify the difference of calculations. Okay, so now you can see here SMS is lower than TMS, although they are close to each other, but they are not exactly the same. And this is not by chance. This is not a rounding of error. Okay, SMS is always less than TMS. SMS is always less than TMS. Okay, so there will always be a difference, and SMS will always be less than TMS. Okay. Now, why is that? Why is there the difference between them? When you are calculating SMS, so you are taking the average of travel time. Okay, so the vehicle which took longer travel time, okay, so the value of the travel time is higher for it, and you are dividing the equation by that value. See, so if there is a vehicle which is taking longer time, for example 22 seconds, so if I put 2 or 3 more vehicles which are taking 22 seconds or more, then this travel time would be more higher. Okay, it will become higher, even higher than this one. Okay, and when you divide the distance with a higher number, your value would be smaller. Okay, but when you are calculating TMS, you are doing what? You are taking each value of the speed, and then you are just dividing with the number of values. Okay, so in this case, all vehicles have the same as they are calling it the weightage. Okay, so all vehicles basically mean the same thing. They are just 6 values. Okay, so a simple average, so TMS is a simple average of the speeds. So in a simple average, each number is just a number, but when you are taking average of something and then you divide it, then the resulting value would be smaller. Okay, because I am dividing with the average of travel time. So whenever I have a vehicle which is slower, which is taking a longer travel time, that will increase the average travel time, and eventually you will get a lower value of SMS than TMS. Okay, so that is the main difference. In TMS, I am taking the speeds directly and taking a simple average, but in SMS, I am taking the average of the travel time, which will be longer for slower vehicles, and it will affect the SMS. Okay, so that's why SMS is always lower. It is lower because it is more affected by the slower vehicles. TMS is less affected by the slower vehicles because in the end you are just getting the value of the speeds. Okay, so in the value of the speeds, eventually the speeds are very close to each other. Okay, and you may get both values. TMS and SMS can be same theoretically. They can be same theoretically if all the vehicles starting from point A to point B, the first point of the section till the last point of the section, do not change their speed at all. Do not change their speed at all. So from point A, the first point of the section, till point B, the last point of the section, you are constantly traveling at 80 kilometers per hour or whatever your speed is. If it does not change between point A and B at all, then SMS and TMS can be equal. And obviously it doesn't happen. You are driving on the road. For example, if you take this, so 1000 feet means 300 meters. So within 300 meters, your speed will change a lot. It cannot be the same. You have external forces acting on it. You will be controlling the vehicle. So you cannot keep the speed constant. Okay. So theoretically, there's only one case in which TMS and SMS can be the same, and that is the case when the drivers keep the speed of the vehicle constant throughout the section. Okay. Obviously, it will not happen. So TMS and always have some difference and lower. And why it is lower? Because it is affected more by the slower vehicles, because we are taking the average of the travel time. Okay, then the next macroscopic parameter is density. And now how do we define density in general? So if I ask you the definition of density for a material, you would say mass per unit volume, right? So mass per unit space, okay, or the quantity of that material per unit space. Now in terms of traffic, I'm measuring the quantity of what? What is the quantity to be measured in traffic? The number of vehicles, right? And what is the space? Space is the road, length of the road. So traffic density means number of vehicles per unit length of the road. Number of vehicles per unit occupying a given length of the road, or vehicles per mile, or vehicles per mile per lane. Okay, number of vehicles which are occupying a given length of the highway or lane, and the units will be vehicles per mile or even vehicles per kilometers. Okay, vehicles per mile or vehicles per kilometer, or vehicles per mile per lane. Okay. Density is difficult to measure. Okay, because obviously how can you measure density? The vehicles are moving, right? So until they stop throughout the length of the highway in which I'm going to measure the density, how can I count them? Remember, we are not talking about vehicles which pass the highway. No, we are talking about vehicles which are on a given length of the highway. That is density, right? Which are occupying that length of the highway. Okay. So if they are occupying and I want to count them, that means I have to stop them. And traffic does not work according to my choice. Okay, so I cannot stop the vehicles. The vehicles are moving. So then the measurement of density becomes difficult. There are ways in which you can measure density, but again, to apply those techniques, you need some equipment, and you need some placement, location, good location, and so on and so forth. Okay, so density is very difficult to measure because you need the number of vehicles which are occupying the section at a given point of time. Okay, and at that point of time, I may not be able to stop all the vehicles and then count everybody. Okay, and if the vehicles keep on moving, then the numbers are changing. Okay, so maybe I start counting. So when I finish my count, the number of vehicles on that section has already changed. Okay, so you cannot do it manually, and to use other techniques in your book, they have mentioned use of the sensors. Okay, so again, my point was that speed and flow can be measured manually as well, but density cannot be measured manually. First of all, it can be measured through some sensors and equipments, but then you need these things. Okay, so if you have two simple parameters, then why go for the difficult one? Okay, so if you already have flow and speed, you can calculate density. So measuring flow and speed is simple. Like I've already given you the task for your project, so it's simple. You guys at the start of the course can do it. Then obviously other professionals can do it more easily and more accurately. So if I can take two simple things and calculate the difficult one, then why should I go for measuring the difficult one at all? Okay, so this is how it is normally done, that you find out flow and speed and you calculate the density. Okay, now if density is difficult to measure, then why or where do we need it? Why don't we just ignore it? If a parameter is difficult to measure, why don't we ignore it? Not ignore it because of these reasons. There can be other reasons as well. You may think about them later on when we are discussing the relationships, but these are the main reasons. Okay, first of all, density is directly related to traffic demand, because when traffic demand increases and keeps on increasing, okay, the flow may not keep on increasing, because there will be a time when you will reach the capacity of the road. Okay, so after you reach the capacity of the road, or let's say if there is a signal, so at the signal obviously people are stopping, or there is any other type of intersection, people are stopping, so flow is less. Okay, the number of vehicles which are moving are less. So how do I know that the demand of this section or this intersection is high or low? I will look at the density. How many vehicles are in that section? I think I lost the connection for a few seconds. So you guys are with me for we were discussing density, right?
Yes, doctor, we hear you.
Yes, we are ready, doctor.
Okay. So I was telling you why density is important. So first of all, it is related to the demand.
Yes, we got that.
Okay, it is related to the demand. So if more vehicles are on the road, they may be stuck in a traffic jam. So the flow and the speed is zero, but density would be higher. More people are on the road. That means the traffic demand is higher. So flow and speed may not tell you the traffic demand in all the cases, but density is directly related or directly proportional with the demand. Okay, in any case, if the density is higher, that means the traffic demand is higher. Okay, I will later on show you some curves, some figures as well to explain this point. Density is the thing which is affecting the speed, and the speed determines the flow. Okay, because if the density is higher, that means cars are very close to each other, or the vehicles are very close to each other. Okay, this is how the density will become higher, right? You have the same length of the highway, let's say 1 kilometer, and so if there are 10 cars in 1 kilometer, the spacing between them will be more. So these cars will be going fast because they have more space to move. Okay, and the flow will be higher. But if in the same 1 kilometer, if I put 100 cars instead of 10, now there are 100 cars, so the distance between them, the spacing between them will be less, so their speed will be slower. So if the speed is slower, that means the flow will also be less. Okay, so density is the basic thing which is affecting the speed and flow. It's not the other way around. Although I said we will use flow and speed to calculate density, but in reality, density is affecting these things. Okay. And the last thing, which is the most important point about density, that it indicates the quality of flow in terms of driver comfort and freedom to maneuver. These are the things which you cannot measure easily. Okay, how comfortable you are as a driver on the road. How can I know? And how easily you can maneuver in the traffic. Okay, freedom to maneuver means how easily you can move, how easily you can implement your required actions in the traffic. Okay, so there is no other parameter which can measure these things apart from density. So if the density is low, so you will have less cars around you, more space, so you will feel more comfortable, right? And you will have more freedom to move around in the traffic. If I want to change my lane, if I have to slow down, if I want to increase my speed, this will be easier for me to do if the density is less. That means less cars around me and more space, and vice versa. Okay, if I'm stuck in a traffic jam, I cannot move at all. So people get stressed out, right? People get stressed out when they are in a traffic jam, even for a few minutes. Okay, and you may have experienced that there is a place and you have to go to that place, and within your route there's a place where there's a location where you have traffic jam, and you always get stuck in that traffic jam for a few minutes. So you should be getting used to it, but you do not. Every time you are in that situation, you get stressed out, you get frustrated. Okay, why? Because you are crowded, you are stuck. Okay, you are suffocating, something like this. So your comfort level is less, your freedom, you don't have any freedom to move, so you feel frustrated. Okay, your stress level goes higher. Okay, so density is a very good indicator of your comfort and freedom as a driver, and there is no other thing which can measure, there is no other parameter which can measure these things as accurately as density. So that's why we need density. Okay, that's why we need density to be calculated and to be measured. Now we will talk about microscopic parameters. So like I said, microscopic parameters are calculated for each vehicle or for a pair of vehicles. Okay, for a pair of vehicles. Now for each vehicle, I already talked about speed, right? So speed is the only microscopic parameter which is calculated for each vehicle. So we already know what is the speed, and we have discussed the speed of individual vehicles even when we were discussing the average speed, space mean speed and time mean speed. Now we will not discuss speed again, but remember, the speed of one vehicle is a microscopic parameter. Now we start with spacing is the distance between two successive vehicles in a traffic lane. Okay, so it is between two vehicles which are in the same lane, and it is measured from a common reference point of the vehicle. For example, the front bumper or the front wheels. So you measure the distance between one vehicle and the next vehicle between their same point, between the same reference point for both the vehicles. So you start measuring from the front bumper of the first vehicle till the first bumper of the successive vehicle. That will be spacing. Okay, so let me make it here. So this is vehicle number 1, and after that I have this vehicle here. Let's say, and this is my reference point, the front side of the vehicle. So spacing will be this distance. Okay, and they are representing it with dA. So this is dA. Okay, or simply D. A means average. A is indicating average. Okay, so this is simply D. Okay. Now obviously you have the whole traffic flow, and within the traffic flow there are number of vehicles which are passing one after another. So if you keep on measuring spacing between the vehicles, you will have a different value each time. Each two vehicles may be passing at a different spacing. Okay, and you know, when you are giving the test or when you are learning the driving, they you know, they instruct you to keep a safe spacing between you and the front car. Okay, so you are familiar with this. Okay, spacing, the spacing which you keep between you and the front car when you're stopping at the signal or something like that, that is spacing. Okay, so obviously spacing between you and the front car and between you and the car which is behind you, it is different. Okay, so if you keep on measuring spacings between all pairs of vehicles, you will get a different value each time. Okay, then obviously then you can, okay, so you have like 100 different values, you take the average. So when you take the average, now average indicates what will be the unit of that. So the unit of spacing will be in feet or meters, right? The unit of spacing will be feet or meters. So for example, let's say the average spacing dA comes out to be 200 feet. Now this means what? From this vehicle, after 200 feet, I have the next vehicle, right? So if the average spacing is 200 feet, that means after every 200 feet, I have another vehicle. After every 200 feet, I have another vehicle. So this is 200 feet per vehicle, right? Average means what? Like this is the normal value for all the vehicles, right? When you take individual values and take the average, that means what? Now you can apply it to all the vehicles. So if the spacing, whatever the value of spacing is, it will be in feet or meters. So the average will be or can be defined as the distance after which you will have the next vehicle, right? So this is distance per vehicle, feet per vehicle or meter per vehicle. Okay, and if you take the inverse of that, so distance per vehicle, if you take the inverse, it will be vehicle per unit distance, right? Inverse of average spacing will be vehicle per unit distance, and vehicle per unit distance is known as what? Density. We just defined density, right? So vehicle per unit distance is density. So if you take the inverse of average spacing, you will get density. Okay, so and then you have the conversion factor, because density will be in feet or density will be in meters, and you want the spacing will be in feet or the spacing will be in meters, and you want to calculate the density in vehicles per mile per lane or vehicles per kilometer per lane. Okay, so we need to have the conversion factor. So 5280 is a conversion factor from feet to miles, and 1000 is a conversion factor from meters to kilometers. Okay, so we have the conversion factors here. So inverse of average spacing gives you density, and it makes sense because if I ask you how many vehicles you can have in 1 mile, or how many vehicles you can have, let's say, in 1000 feet. Let me make it simple. In 1000 feet, how many vehicles you can have if the spacing between each vehicle is 100 feet? If the spacing between each vehicle is 100 feet, then how many vehicles you can have in 1000 feet? So you will do what? 1000 feet divided by 100, right? So this is what we are doing here. So instead of 1000 feet, the total length is either 1 mile, which is 5280 feet, or 1000 meters, which is 1 kilometer. Okay, and then you divide by the spacing. Okay, dA, average spacing. Okay, so average spacing can be used to calculate density. So this is one way of calculating density. Later on, I will show you other equations to calculate density as well. We have headway. Headway is similar to spacing, but it's not in terms of distance. So spacing was the distance between two successive vehicles from the common reference point, right? Headway is the time interval between two successive vehicles for the same reference point. So let me make it here. So this is the point of observation. I'm observing the vehicle at this point. So when the first vehicle crosses this point, okay, I start measuring the time. Okay, when the next vehicle crosses the same point, okay, so this is vehicle number 1. So when vehicle number 1 passed from here, I measured the time when, for example, the front bumper of this vehicle passed me. Okay, the vehicle number 2 is behind me. Okay, vehicle number 2 is here. So when vehicle number 2 reaches this point, and when it passes from here, I will measure the time between vehicle number 1 and vehicle number 2 to pass this point. Okay, so I'm standing at an observation point, and I'm noting down the time between two vehicles to pass me. Okay, so this is what we call as a headway. So spacing was the difference between two successive vehicles in terms of distance, and headway is the difference between two successive vehicles in terms of time. Okay, so after how much time the next vehicle will cross me. Okay, this is headway. So again, if you measure headway between different pairs of vehicles, you will get a different value. Okay, so if you measure the headway between 100 vehicles, you will get 100 different values, and you can take an average. So that average is called as HA. HA is the average headway. What will be the unit of headway? Seconds, obviously. You will, within seconds, the next vehicle will pass you. Okay, so and okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me just finish this, and I will come back to your questions. Okay, I will not go further than headway. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I was saying headway is the time difference between two successive vehicles to pass you, and if you have multiple number of vehicles, then you will have different values of headway, and then you take the average of all the headways. You will get an average headway, which we are calling as HA. So HA is the average headway. So this means what? The unit of headway will be in seconds. So if you take the average value, that means that after every, so for example, the average headway is 5 seconds. So after every 5 seconds, another vehicle will pass you. On average, after every 5 seconds, another vehicle will pass you. Okay. So that is the way. So if I ask you again, using the concept which I use for density, I have a time of 1 hour. 1 hour means what? 3,600 seconds, right? And in these, so if a new vehicle is passing me after every 5 seconds, then how many vehicles will pass me in 1 hour? Okay, if after every 5 seconds there is another vehicle passing me, then how many vehicles will pass me in 1 hour? Okay, so you will do what? Total number of seconds in 1 hour divided by the number of seconds after which the next vehicle is coming. Okay, so that will give you number of vehicles passing you in 1 hour, and the number of vehicles per unit time is what? Flow, right? Number of vehicles per unit time is flow. Okay, so what you did was you took the inverse of the headway, right? I gave you the headway as 5 seconds, and you took the inverse, and it gave you the value of the flow. So flow equals inverse of the headway. And why this 3600? Because the time duration is 1 hour. I'm calculating number of vehicles which can pass in 1 hour. Okay, so we will call it the rate of flow, if you remember, rate of flow. Okay, because again we are calculating the number of vehicles which will pass me in 1 hour using the rate. What is the rate? Headway. The rate at which vehicles are passing each other or passing me is a headway, average headway, and the number of seconds in 1 hour is 3600. So 3600 upon average headway gives you the value of flow. Okay, rate of flow, because now the value will be in vehicles per hour per lane. Why per hour? Because these are the number of seconds in 1 hour, 3600. Okay. Okay. I saw some questions. Let me answer the questions, then I will move on to it. Okay. First of all, okay. Okay, Amar, spacing is not uniform, but when you take the average, taking the average means what? That now this value is more or less for all the vehicles, right? If I tell you the average speed on this road is 850 kilometers per hour, that means what? All vehicles are more or less driving at 50 kilometers per hour, right? So that's why we are taking the average then for all the vehicles. Okay, that is the concept of average. That's why we do the average. Okay, so because then we assume that for all the vehicles or for all the drivers, this is the value approximately. Okay, so this is the concept of taking the average for anything, right? If I calculate the average grade for you guys, that means what? Now I'm assuming that everybody is more or less on this level. The normal grade is this much. Okay, so this is the concept of taking the average. Okay, so average spacing gives you density, and average headway gives you flow. And so average distance between two vehicles upon average time between two vehicles. Distance upon time gives you what? Speed, right? Distance upon time gives you speed. Okay, so this is another use of spacing and headway. You can take the distance upon time to calculate the speed. Okay, so distance will be the average distance between two vehicles, and time will be the average time between two vehicles. Okay, so distance per unit vehicle and time per unit vehicle, and you take the ratio, it will give the speed, distance upon time. Okay, as simple as that. And obviously the units are satisfied as well. So distance will be in feet, and the headway will be in seconds, but we need the speed in miles per hour. So we have the conversion factor 1.47. If the distance is in meters and the headway obviously will be in seconds, the spacing is in meters, the headway is in seconds, then and you need the speed in kilometers per hour, then this is the conversion factor 3.457. Okay, so you can use this equation if you are calculating speed in miles per hour, and you can use this equation if you are calculating speed in kilometers per hour. So one use of microscopic parameters, headway and spacing, was calculating the macroscopic parameter. Okay, like you can calculate density, you can calculate spacing, you can calculate rate of flow, and you can calculate speed using microscopic parameter, headway and spacing. Now for speed, we said we have time mean speed and space mean speed. Which speed is this one? This is space mean speed. The speed which you calculate as a ratio of spacing and headway is the space mean speed, SMS. Okay, so one use of the microscopic parameters is to calculate macroscopic parameters. This is one use of it. Another major use of microscopic parameter is to analyze individual types of vehicles in the traffic. So in traffic you have buses, trucks, cars, motorbikes, cycles. If I want to analyze how they are affecting traffic, I will analyze using their headway and spacing. Okay, so headway and spacing, we will not go in details in your book. The details are given. If you are interested, go and have a look. And I will refer to it again when we are doing the highway capacity analysis. But for the time being, if you want to see behavior of an individual driver or an individual vehicle in traffic, then you can see it or you can analyze it using its headway and its spacing. Okay, so different types of vehicles have different headways and spacings when they are on the road because of their nature. Okay, so for analyzing the types of roads, the types of different types of vehicles and drivers, you can use headway and spacing. So there are two use of microscopic parameters. One, for calculating macroscopic parameter. Second, for studying the characteristics of individual types of vehicles. Okay. Now I have 2 examples here. Let us finish it so that tomorrow we can move on. Okay, I don't have to remind you what we did today. Okay, so we have a congested multi-lane highway. The average spacing is 200 feet. The headway is 3.8 seconds. We have to find out the flow, density, and speed of traffic in this lane. So now remember, headway and spacing both are calculated for one lane. Okay, so whatever you calculate using headway and spacing will be for that lane of traffic. Okay, because obviously if two vehicles are going in different lanes, then you cannot measure their headway or spacing, right? They are not successive. For measuring headway and spacing, they should be one after another. Okay, okay. So now I will need your help to calculate these things. Okay, just to do it fast. So have your calculators in your hands. Okay, so we already know the spacing and headway. So if I go back, first of all, let me calculate density. So density is 5280 upon average spacing. Average spacing is 200 feet. So density will be 5280 divided by 200. Okay. And if you calculate flow, then rate of flow is 3600 upon average headway. Average headway is 3.8 seconds. 26.4. Okay, fine. So density will be 26.4 vehicles per mile per lane. Okay. For flow, so flow will be 3600 divided by 3.8. So how much will it be? $947. What will be the units? Vehicles per hour per lane. Okay, and again you can round off. Okay, 947. You can make it 947. It is fine. So 947 vehicles per hour per lane. Okay, vehicles per hour per lane. Okay. Now the last thing is speed. The spacing and headway is given in feet and seconds. So I will use the speed in miles per hour. So this is the equation 0.68 into dA upon HA. So dA is 200 feet, HA is 3.8. So space means speed. Like I said, it will be space means speed. So 0.68 multiplied by 200 divided by 3.8. How much will it be? $35.7 miles per hour. 35.7 or 8 miles per hour. Okay. Another example, we have the average headway 2.4 seconds. Speed is given 55 miles per hour. So average headway is given, speed is given. You have to calculate the density and rate of flow. From headway, you can calculate rate of flow, right? We just did it. So rate of flow is headway, which is 3600 divided by 2.4. So we have the flow rate. Okay. Now for speed, for density, I need the average spacing. Okay. So rate of flow is 1500 vehicles per hour per lane. Okay, 1500 vehicles per hour per lane. Now for speed, I need spacing as well. The spacing is not given, right? So if spacing is not given, I need to calculate spacing. So I will calculate spacing. Sorry, for density I need the spacing. Sorry, for density I need the spacing. The speed is given. Okay, the speed is given. Headway is given. Calculate the spacing for me. The speed is 55. Headway is 2.4. How much will be the spacing? Give me the spacing. Then from the spacing we can calculate density. So give me the spacing here, dA. How much is dA? Yes, 194 feet. 194 feet. Now density is, like we did, 5280 divided by 194. We can round off, no problem. So how much will be the density? (27.2 vehicles per mile per lane). Why I keep on reminding you about the units? If you remember the units, the calculations will become easier for you. Believe me. Even if you forget what should we calculate from what, if you remember the units, the calculations will be easier for you. Okay. Now, if you have any questions, I can answer them, or I can go for the attendance.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes. Yes.
In the case of calculating the rate of flow, which is better, to round up or round down?
Round off. Round off. Nearest to the nearest number. Nearest number.
Okay.
So 27 rate of flow. So for example, in our case, how much was the rate of flow? 194, right? 194.1. So the nearest number is 194. If it was 194.9, the nearest number was 195. Okay, so round off.
Okay.
Round off to the nearest number.
Thank you, doctor.
And it's not a big issue. Okay, it's not a big issue. It's not like you round up or round down, it will change your design completely. Okay, so okay, now I have your IDs as well, which is very good. Now day by day they are progressing. So earlier I could just see your names, part of your names. Now they are full names and your IDs as well. So you can see, okay, Jafar is here, Hadid is here. Okay, Iman Kamil.
Yes, doctor.
Sara Abdul Amir. Sara Abdul Amir. Sara Abdul Amir. Okay, Haya Khalifa. Okay, Jabir Abdullah. Jabir Abdullah. Jabir Abdullah. Okay. Mustafa.
Yes, doctor.
Khala Fauzi. Khawla Fauzi. Khawla Fauzi. Hajir Abdul Aziz. Hajir
Yes,
Abdul
doctor.
Aziz. Okay.
Yes.
Amar is here. Ahmad Majid.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Aisha Muhammad. Aisha, okay. Ibrahim Abdullah.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Dana Isa. Dana Isa. Okay. Noof is here. Reem Abdul Hamid. Okay. Nadir Abdul Munim. Nadir Abdul Munim.
Yes, doctor.
Nadir. Okay. Nishal Fayyad. Okay. Mahmoud Adil. Mahmoud Adil. Mahmoud Adil. Dana Yasir. Dana Yasir.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Mohammad Khalid. Mohammad Khalid, okay. Khalid Qasim. Okay. Mariam Isa. Mariam Isa. Okay. If I mark your attendance, you can leave. If I mark your attendance, you can leave. Huda Hassan. Huda Hassan. Okay. Fatma Ahmad. Okay. R is here. Abrar Amir. Abrar Amir. Okay. Abdur Rahman Ali Sadki.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Ahmad Amin. Ahmad Amin. Ahmad Amin. Ghassan is here. Okay. I just call out again. Ahmad Amin. Mahmoud Adil. Khala Fauzi. Jabir Abdullah. Sara Abdul Amir. Anyone from this? Okay, section 2. Okay, I'll go to section 2. Mariam Abdullah, I marked you. No, you are from section 2. Okay, fine. Okay, Foz is here. Lulwa is from section 2. Mariam Abdul Amir is from section 2. Lulwa, Mariam, Foz. Okay, anyone else from section 2?
Doctor, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Regarding the project, the shoulder should be, can it be a raised curb or it should be emergency lane?
Say again.
The project, the shoulder, can it be a raised curb or it should be an emergency lane?
Shoulder is, if you have a shoulder, no problem. If you don't have a shoulder, no problem.
Okay.
Shoulder is not necessary.
Okay, where we will send you the intersection location before we start working here on Teams also?
No, don't send me the location before you start working. You complete the whole package which I told you for the first submission, make it into a Word file or a PDF file, and then you put it in the Teams in the TP group for you, the term project group for you.
But
Did you already give me your names?
No, we still didn't give you our names.
Yeah, first of all, give me the names. I will make a term project group for you in the CNG traffic engineering team.
Okay.
And then you submit everything in that group. So you will have a group with the initial TP.
But Doctor, I'm afraid that we will start working and someone else choose our location.
Do it fast. You know, there are not many groups which are taking intersections. You should not be worried.
Okay. Thanks, Doctor. So I send you our names here on Teams.
Anywhere, email or Teams, wherever. Just the names, but then you make the full first submission in the form of a Word for PDF file.
Okay. Thanks, Doctor.
Okay. So see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.